This is Pastor Tom at Wolcott Christian Church. Just want to check in with you with this edition of WCC Weekly. Just letting you know that just want to recap the message from this past Sunday. The past 2 Sundays, we did just a two-part series called Foundations of Faith. And Pastor Jordan did the first message on creation and pointed out how that God is creative, powerful, and loving and wants to have a relationship with us. And I did the second part of the series, which was the original sin. Boy, don't you think that our world is in a mess with all the pandemic and all the social unrest and tension in our country? It is really hard to kind of sort out from a human perspective. But here's what we know from the original sin in the Garden of Eden that Adam and Eve committed is we know why the world is a mess if we have a biblical worldview and believe what the Bible has to say. Because that original sin, when the serpent, Satan himself, tempted Eve to take of the forbidden fruit, that God said there's just one place, just one thing, don't look at the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and certainly don't partake of it. And when the serpent came along and tempted Eve and she took of that, it changed history for all of mankind forever. So we know from that one thing that death and evil and violence and disease and all these things came into play as a result of that first sin that was committed by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So as Christians, we shouldn't be surprised at what's going on around us if we know Christ as Savior and we believe that the Bible is true, which as Christians we know the Bible to be true. So when Adam and Eve committed that sin, it opened up just a whole thing. We all became sinners, and evil, as I said, evil and wickedness had a wide open door to come into this world. And because of that, because of being sinners, um, we needed a solution, and God has already always provided that solution throughout the Old Testament. He had them live by the sacrificial system, and then the prophets came and prophesied of the coming Messiah. And then John the Baptist was the forerunner who did the doctrine of baptismal regeneration. They were being baptized to the coming promised Messiah. And then, of course, Jesus Christ came and went to the cross and died for all sin. And that's also the solution to the problem of sin that Adam and Eve created with the original sin. We don't sin because we're sinners. We sin because of Adam and Eve, and we're sinners, and that causes us to sin. So we needed that. We went over Romans 5:8, was one of the key verses in the message. God demonstrated his love for us, and while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. So the solution is the same as it's always been when wickedness and all these things are going on around us. It's the gospel, it's Jesus Christ. It's a transformed life and changed hearts that will change, not only our country, but our world. It always has and it always will. Coming up, man, we're excited. Like I said, we've got the church open. We have worship services at 9 and 10:30. Also, Mark Legler's adult Bible classes at 9:15. Don't have Sunday school yet or children's ministry going, but we look forward to the day here before too much longer that we can start to institute some of those things as well. But we're getting ready to launch into a series. We kind of use that Foundations of the Faith, that two-part message, to launch into a series called Flawed Heroes, which will be, we're going to study 9 Old Testament heroes along with 2 New Testament heroes. It's going to kind of be our summer series. And we are going to be looking at how God used some people in the Bible, some men in the Bible, miraculously, powerfully, but also how they were very much flawed in some of the challenges that they faced. And like I said, so we'd love for you to come out. We are social distancing still. Probably will continue to do that for a while longer, but we have plenty of room for you to come out and worship with us at 9 or 10:30. And like I said, don't forget Mark's adult Bible class going through the first 11 chapters of Genesis at 9:15 in the fellowship hall. God bless you all, and hope to see you soon.